Come to DSW for the shoes, stay for the fun. Because, let's be honest, if shoe shopping isn't fun, are you even doing it right? So go ahead, try something new. Try something different. Good different. Try something that feels like you. You know, the real you. And then definitely brag about it later. Because at DSW, you've got unlimited freedom to play. Find the shoes that get you at prices that get your budget at DSW stores or at DSW.com. Let us surprise you.
Most unsettling open to an episode of the Show Before the Show podcast ever. As I hit the record button, Sam Dykstra just said, all right, I guess we're doing this, and then proceeded to start unbuttoning his shirt, and I was very uncomfortable. But then he revealed I almost said the goods underneath. That's not what I meant. He revealed a shirt that he was wearing under that shirt featuring the image of his other employer, one Mickey Mouse. Sam, I'm so happy that you're finally admitting to these things, that you are in fact a Times Square Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, that's what us Times Square Mickey Mouses do. Or Mickey Mice, I guess. Mickey Mice, excuse me. I'm still new to the job, 4 years on to this. I don't have all the nomenclature down. Yeah, we're just constantly wearing Mickey stuff. So yeah. I was trying to think of how I wanted to do the reveal of this. I think something that was bordering on an HR violation was probably as good as it was going to get. I thought about, I got this as an Easter gift from my mother, who listened to the podcast again and got concerned that I had been working as a Mickey in Times Square. So I thought about sending you guys this on Easter morning to be like, oh, isn't this funny? And I'm like, no, can't do that. Thought about wearing it to Times Square this morning and sending you guys a picture. And I'm like, well, then we don't get the reaction on air. So now here we go. It's just me slowly unbuttoning my flannel to show the Mickey underneath.
I think when this does turn into an HR thing, the quote, slowly unbuttoning my flannel, is going to go straight into the dossier of the investigation. I'm very glad, though. What are we, 8 years into this, 9 years into this podcast now? We're just now coming up with the weirdest inside jokes. But we'll talk about this next week when Bruce Springsteen joins the show. Tyler Vaughn, Benjamin Hill, Sam Dykstra, and joined by two of that form the quintet of the oldest Milbers in the Milb podcasting world. Josh Jackson, Kelsie, Heneghan join us from the other draft rooms of this opening day for AA and the Class A levels episode of the Show Before the Show podcast. Very convoluted introduction. Sam threw me off. I'm sorry. Oh, hello everyone. How are you?
Hey guys, thanks for having us.
Hello, Josh. We are at some point going to need both the puppy and the kitten to make appearances in this episode. So hopefully that'll happen at some point. I can see the way you are chomping on your lip in sheer aggravation as to how they normally are during Zoom calls. But this one, I'm encouraging it.
I was more, I don't know that you can afford their fee.
That's fair. All right, that's fair. Is it a food only fee or is there like currency involved? Because I do have some treats laying around.
Yeah, they would take food, I would think.
Well, we're kicking things off in this week's episode of the Show Before the Show podcast. We got such a great response to our AAA franchise draft last week that we're diving into all of the other levels, which open play this week across minor league baseball. We're going to be having some fun. We're going to go the AA level, high A, single A, and we will build not one, but 5 franchises. The amount of categories that we have will remain the same, but the amount of teams wildly more across these levels. Sam, would you like to break down the draft again for those who may have missed it last week? It's now a bigger and better and more enhanced and Mickey Mouse inclusive draft.
Yes, yeah, it very much is. Yeah, so anybody who missed last week's episode, put it on pause, go back and listen last week. It was a lot of fun. Tyler, Ben, and myself drafted AAA franchises, ideally. So this week we're going to be doing something similar, expanding to AA, high A, and single A. Like you said, Tyler, that expands our pool of teams from 30 to 90. So we're going to be covering 25 different teams. Once a team is drafted, it cannot be drafted again in any category. Those categories, once again, are team identity, main identity, I should say, alternate identity, stadium or ballpark, top prospect, and mascot. So we don't have an order set. We will be setting that momentarily. We will be doing a snake draft. So whoever goes first then has to wait until the end of the second round to go their next pick. There's a lot of strategy involved here. When do you take a team? What category do you take them in, et cetera, et cetera? Are you trying to build a story? Are you just going for the best in every category? We will see how this all plays out. It was a lot of fun last week. It's going to be even more fun this week because we got more teams to cover and 2 new pickers, and which means 2 new strategies. So I have entered our names once again into alphabetical order. So that is Ben, Josh, Kelsie, Sam, and Tyler. Somehow Tyler once again is last. It's weird
big
how that
shocker
happens
on this podcast.
Yes.
No surprise.
And
Also,
now,
for the folks at random.org, if you want to throw us some coin for constantly using your website.
It's .org, Tyler.
Dang
Nonprofit.
no,
They randomize.
We're not even
for
getting
the
that
good of the people.
random.com money.
Yeah.
all right. So the names are entered. I will, as is tradition, hit the randomize button. And the order this week. Josh.
Oh, he was
Has the
doing the
number 1
cross
overall
finger
selection.
thing into the camera, and then he got number 1 overall.
Tyler has number 2.
Ooh.
I am smack dab in the middle at 3. Then it goes Kelsie, and Ben has the turn. So Ben will be making 2 straight picks, and then we'll send it back the other direction. I will enter this into our doc, and then Josh, you will have the first selection.
Wow.
I bet that most of you could predict that my very first selection, number 1 overall pick, is Slugger the Sea Dog, who has been a favorite of mine, my favorite since I was X number of years old, way back when the Sea Dogs first came to Portland. Slugger is just a fantastic mascot. There's a great story by our own Benjamin Hill from 2 seasons ago, I believe, about how good Slugger is at what he does. He's like Beyonce meets Charlie Chaplin. He's incredibly graceful as a dancer, and he's just a fantastically talented comedian. He's everything a mascot. He is coming. He's transitioning into doing more country work, but which is hard because he doesn't vocalize.
Right.
But he's everything a mascot should be. So I gotta go with Slugger number 1 overall if I'm Mr. number 1 pick man, which I am, as random.org has decided is the wise thing to do.
Yeah, first mascot in the mascot hall. First minor league baseball mascot in the minor league. No, I can't get it right. First minor league mascot in the Mascot Hall of Fame. That's what I want to say about Slugger. And on the 3rd attempt, I did it.
So Josh taking a Hall of Famer at number 1 overall, which I feel like is the dream of every draft.
Bar high. Yeah, that really. Josh, I have a question. If you were to have picked another mascot, would it have been Modesto's Shelly Pistachio? Because as I recall, you've got a little bit of a crush on Shelly Pistachio.
You're conflating me with another member of this panel. I am highly amused by Benjamin Hill having a crush on Shelly.
Ben had the crush on Shelly Pistachio.
Yeah, I did. She signed my notebook, and the writing was really cute. And I just thought, I don't want to get into it. It's a little awkward.
Oh, Ben's blushing.
That was adorable. I can't believe I conflated that. For some reason, I thought it was Josh when he would, hit the road to the Cal League ballparks when he was our Southern California.
No, I'm the one who fell in love with the nut. It was me.
Hey, we all have at some point. Am I right? Am I right? Bad relationship jokes, but okay, I guess it's me. Pick number 2. Man, honestly, I gotta say I kind of liked having a later pick. don't think I like having like the whole.
All of a sudden, it's for years complaining that you're not getting early picks, and now you get number 2. And it's like, actually,
no, I don't like it. There's too much to pick from. I don't know how am I going to pick this? Okay, I actually do know what I'm going to pick, and I'm going to pick it because, well, it's kind of a wasted pick because I don't think anybody else would be picking this, but I am picking it because it is the last season for this place in an affiliated minor league context, and it is my favorite ballpark on the face of the planet, and that is Granger Stadium in Kinston, North Carolina, home to the Down East Wood Ducks, who are going to be moving. Granger Stadium. You walk into Granger Stadium, and it's like you're walking into 1952 in a good, like the ballpark feels as though it would have felt on the day that it opened. It's like beautifully maintained. It's the perfect quintessential small town minor league American ballpark. I love Granger Stadium, albeit I haven't been there since they built like the big terrace building with the bar and the brewery connection to Mother Earth Brewing Company down the right field line. But I love that place. It tugs at my all too romanticized minor league baseball heartstrings. So I'm taking Granger Stadium. One final ride for Granger Stadium in 2024.
Yeah, then the Down East Wood Ducks are off to Spartanburg, South Carolina to begin a new era, and I imagine a rebrand is going to come into play there. But maybe not. Spartanburg Wood Ducks, it could happen.
Could happen.
Could happen.
Keep calling them Down East. I mean, Kinston's not even in the Down East area. Just keep that name. Just label it to wherever you want.
Yeah, everywhere is down east to somewhere.
That's true. And to be fair, I mean, the Carolinas are down east to a lot of places, so it could work.
Yeah, so it works perfect.
All
right, third pick, Samuel.
I have third pick, and I'm just going in the middle of every round now. I'm going to have the same strategy, at least to start, that I had last week, and I want to build on a really strong foundation. So I'm going to go with my main identity first, not the main identity. Josh took Portland off the board, so I can't do any main teams. But I'm going to go with one that just always makes me laugh. I have a hat of theirs. I could have gone with their alternate identity because I also really like this. But I'm going to go with one that when people hear it and they're not involved in minor league baseball, they always give me a funny look and be like, that really exists. And I want that. I want a memorable name. I'm going with Montgomery Biscuits.
I knew you were going Montgomery Biscuits.
Many people in my life did. Montgomery Biscuits, maybe
it's a good pick.
One of my three, I don't know. I've never sat down and actually ranked my favorite identities, but it's definitely up there, maybe top 3.
I think this might be your favorite logo, like in the history of minor league baseball. The little
retro, really is.
The retro biscuit. I know you're a big fan of the retro biscuit.
The Greenbow biscuits,
the faux
back, in homage to Forrest Gump's fake hometown,
Greenbow, Alabama.
Exactly. They did a really good job of doing faux backs and making it look like it was from the Forrest Gump era. I love that logo. I'm not getting that. I'm just getting the biscuit, but it still has the pat of butter for the tongue. It still has all the kooky minor league things. It's food identity. It just checks a lot of boxes. So I'm going with the Montgomery Biscuits as my first pick. Kelsey, you are now on the clock.
All right, I gotta say, I was not prepared for us to be jumping around. For some reason in my mind, I thought we would all pick one of each category, but I'm ready to roll with it and go with it. But with that being said, I think I'll just follow Sam into the team identity because I'm here to win. And so I want to pick the Rocket City Trash Pandas, which is probably the most insane logo we have these days. And I mean that in a good thing. I think that the moment someone saw a raccoon in a trash can that was like a rocket, what was that, 3 years ago, 4 years ago at this point, 5? People fell in love. It was off the shelves. They announced the logo 2 years before they were supposed to start. Then the pandemic happened. So there was a lot of buildup. Then people finally had it. And it's still consistently one of the most popular hats and logos we have in the minors. Like Sam said, if people aren't really familiar with minor league baseball, then you tell them, hey, there's a team called the Rocket City Trash Pandas. They're like, what? They're excited. They're confused. All the emotions. So I feel like I have to pick them. Obviously, Marvel might be on the decline right now in Guardians of the Galaxy, but we have one Trash Panda that's still really popular.
Trash Pandas were number 2 on my board. It was a tough call between those two. So I like that pick. Ben, you have 2 selections now.
Oh boy. I got 2. All right. Let's start off with alternate identity because I think this is the premier alternate identity of the 2024 season. I did not grow up in the Garden State, but close enough close enough to have loved diners and like
Sam's
the culture
infuriated
around
already.
diners. Yeah, Sam is upset about this one. But I'm sorry, it's the ruthless game, Sam, and I'm picking alternate identity, the Somerset Patriots, Jersey Diners debuting in 2024. And check out a previous episode of this podcast for a lot of talk about the Jersey Diners. And
including an interview with the man who created the design itself, Ryan Fusser with Fusser Sports.
Oh yeah, that's right. We had
a great conversation.
The diner creator on tap, and yeah, I talked to the team in advance of that being released and wrote a story about it, and just the level of thought that went into it was really impressive. Of course, the coffee cup main logo, but a lot of alternate logos based on Jersey Diner favorites, including the Happy Waitress, which is one I can't say I was too familiar with. It's like a grilled cheese BLT type of sandwich. Was it tomato, grilled cheese, bacon? I think it's something like that. Yeah, the Happy Waitress. Anyway, we don't have to go on and on about it, but that's what I'm gonna start off with my pick. And then another real obvious one, at least to me, it's obvious. And I went there just last year, but I'm gonna pick as a ballpark, Vancouver, Nat Bailey Stadium. Love that ballpark, only ballpark in Canada, of course. One of the oldest ballparks in the minor leagues, covered grandstand, classic feel. I don't know if it's a Canadian thing, but the fans there are, and sorry, America, but the fans there are better than almost all, United States minor league baseball fans in terms of just involvement in the game from first pitch to last. So it's a great energy. And it's right across the street from, what is that, Queen Elizabeth Park, where you just have such fantastic views of the city of Vancouver and the mountains in the background. So it's a beautiful area all around, and I'm happy to represent another country. It's so hard to represent another country when you write about minor league baseball. So let's dip our toes into Canadian soil.
Dip our toes into soil. I'm trying to imagine forcing your feet just into the ground of the north of the border.
Yeah. It's better soil up there.
All right, Kelsie, you're up next.
Yeah, no, that was a good one, Ben. I'm going to go with one that I've always loved. It went away and now it's back, and I'm so happy. And that's San Antonio's Copa identity, the Flying Chanclas. That started in 2018 when, Copa was first starting. And for those who aren't familiar, in some cultures, a grandmother or an abuelita will throw their sandal at their, grandchild when they're misbehaving or, getting out of line or trying to have a cookie before dinner or something like that. And one, it's an identity that a lot of people I've talked to just gravitate to. It's something that I was not familiar with personally about this type of situation, but it seems like a lot of households, a lot of people grew up with this type of environment with like the flying chancla. So I think that's really cool that it connects to so many people. And then also just visually, it's a beautiful logo. It has the bright pink and blue and yellow, and then some navy backdrop to kind of make it pop even more. So yeah, San Antonio AA club. I'm just really happy that this logo's back and we can continue celebrating it.
Kelsie, I feel like you're winning the merchandising category so far.
I mean, it helps that I probably read the most comments on social media out of everyone here. Like I know what people like. Maybe that's it.
No, that's good. And pairing up the flying chanclas with the Rocket City trash can is either of your hats are gonna go flying off the shelf. So that's a good start.
We're soaring.
As confirmed earlier, I am absolutely upset that Ben took Jersey Diners away from me. It's not fair, but he knew what he was doing.
It's not your birthright, Sam.
Yeah.
Just because you're the diner guy, you don't just automatically get that. You should have made it your first pick.
I should have. No, I should have. I am legitimately upset. I probably could have gotten Montgomery biscuits with my second pick. I could not have gotten Jersey Diners with my second.
That's true. And I enjoy kind of making other people feel bad more than I enjoy making myself feel good, especially Sam, to be honest.
I will say, yeah, anytime we do these drafts and I pick someone or something right before Sam is going to, and I get that reaction, it lifts my spirits tenfold. Which makes no sense because he's the sweetest person on the planet, but it's just like, I needled Sam today.
Well, all right. Well, I'm picking ahead of you. So
dang it. I should have waited until after this.
Yeah. Oh man, I want to go ballpark here. I want to put the Montgomery biscuits in a cool and fun place with a cool and interesting background. Last week I went with Charlotte and their city backdrop. This week, I'm gonna stay close to home. We're gonna go Biscuits in the Beach. We're going Maimonides Ballpark or Maimonides Park, home of the Brooklyn Cyclones.
Biscuits in the Beach.
Biscuits in the Beach. We're gonna see how far we can take
really
this
good
theme going. But yeah, the Maimonides Park. I mean, it's essentially my home park. It's Ben's home park down on Coney Island. It's so unique to minor league baseball. The places where you can sit and there's the beach on one side and there's amusement rides in the other. I know some other ballparks have like Ferris wheels and some amusement park stuff around it, but it really fits the carnival atmosphere of Coney Island really well. It's a backdrop that can't be beat. It's so much fun watching a game there and making a whole day out of it. So bringing the Biscuits to the beach might be a little sandy on the Biscuits, but we'll make it work. Brooklyn Maimonides Park is my second pick.
Okay, I like it. I've still never been to that park, which means
we need to go to Seinfeld night
when I come visit. I know we need to go to Seinfeld night. We do have to pull those strings with Billy, with the Cyclones. Okay, I'm up, right? I'm up. Okay. I think I'm going to alternate identity next. And I think I'm grabbing a team that has multiple alternate identities that I love, which is the Eugene Emeralds, who have the Monarchas, one of my favorite Copa identities, one of the best designed Copa logos, one of the best Copa concepts. But they also have alternate identities like the Exploding Whales, which they unveiled last year. Can I not love a whale that is connected to a lit piece of dynamite in logo form? So I think that's going to be my alternate identity. Going with those two identities would look very good at Granger Stadium.
Yeah, but you got to pick one.
Oh, I have to pick one of the two?
You have to pick one, yeah. Eugene has multiple great options. That's wonderful.
You don't get like the whole alternate identity suite when you pick a team's Come on, Sam.
That's right, the way we operated last week.
Yeah,
I'm going Monarchas then.
Okay. That's a good pick.
Exploding Whales would be fun, but like the Monarchas is just so good. It's like everything Copa is supposed to be, the Monarchas identity is. So I'm going Monarchas. Buzzkill, Sam.
I'm not being a buzzkill. That's not the
There's
way
only room for one logo on the graphic, Tyler. You can't have two.
That's true.
The graphic.
That's true. Okay, Josh.
It would be a different draft. That would be an interesting draft, but that's not the way we've done things. All right, Josh, you're up for two.
Whatever, Sam.
I'm feeling pretty good about the way this shaped up for me. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and draft a prospect, and the prospect I'm going to draft is Ethan Salas.
Dang it!
Of Fort Wayne. This gentleman, this gentle boy, is not yet. He won't be 18 years old until until June. Yeah. And I mean, I think, Sam, you can correct me if this is, too strong of a word here, but I think he stunned the sort of baseball world by debuting out of the complex level, just at single A Lake Elsinore last summer. And then he played games as high as double A. He was 16 when he got to California. His catching product, obviously, I mean, a catcher who can hit the way he hit and is also a great defender is just incredible. I don't think there's a better foundation to build my little empire that I'm toiling away at here in this draft with than as far as prospects go than Salas. So I'm taking him, which takes Fort Wayne off everybody else's draft boards as well. Sam, you want to comment on the young lad?
Yeah, I mean, Salas is a great first top prospect pick for all the reasons you mentioned, Josh. I mean, pushed aggressively last year to single A, played a little bit at high A, and then even played a little bit at double A when the San Antonio Missions were in a postseason push. End of the year, slightly injured. He's totally good to go this year. About as advanced defensively as a catcher that age can possibly be. I mean, I think he could catch major leaguers tomorrow, no problem. He's bilingual, communicates really well, moves really well behind the plate, throws the ball really well, has potential plus power. We'll see what happens this year. Last year, everything, like you said, was a little bit of a shock. Now there's a huge target on his back. Teams know that he's coming and he's going to be in the middle of the lineup. So we'll see where things go. Like, how aggressive can the Padres be? But they're as aggressive as any organization in baseball right now. They proved that last year with Salas. They proved it this year by starting Jackson Merrill on the opening day roster for the major league side. And Leonidas DeVries is, knocking on the door next. They already have him stateside too. He could follow Ethan Salas's path. But Salas is a very, very strong first top prospect pick. So good job, Josh.
Yeah. Are there any other prospects that you would refer to as gentle boys? Or is it just Salas?
I have a top 30 gentle boy rankings actually, but that's for another podcast.
Yeah, and that's an alternate identity I want to see. The gentle boys.
I'm gonna stick in the Midwest League for my next pick. I am taking Modern Woodman as my Modern Woodman Park from Quad Cities as my ballpark. Ferris wheel, Mississippi River. What else do you need?
That's a good one.
Did we lose Josh?
No, he's just he had made his point, and I think that was that.
Oh yeah. What else? Yeah, what else?
You get the bridge view.
I looked up and his microphone icon was muted and he was just looking into the camera and nodding. Like,
yeah, he said,
you got anything to say? Got anything to say to my perfect pick? Absolutely not. Okay, I like that. I'm going off the board with this next pick. We've got a draft board that has a whole bunch of things listed, team identity, alternate identity, stadium, top prospect, mascot. The mascot who I am going to choose is not on the board, but is the mascot that is on the board in my heart. And that is Bolt, the official mascot of the Winston-Salem Dash, who just makes me feel like a small child. Every time I saw Bolt when I was working in the minor leagues, I giggled. I did a lot of giggling, a whole bunch of smiling. I would love to hug Bolt, and I would love to nuzzle my nose into his furry little face. Not really a little face, he's like a giant. But he too is in the Mascot Hall of Fame, according to, and I'm not making this up, mascothalloffame.com. So I'm going Bolt. I'm going off the board, and I'm picking Bolt. I love me some Bolt.
No, that's totally fair. I mean, the board is just a suggestion. And I love that, obviously we all know about different things that are not going to be on the board. That's the depth of knowledge that we bring to these proceedings. So, all right. My next pick, I have to learn from Ben taking Jersey Diners away from me. Now, he can't take another alternate identity away, but this is another one that's a strong piece of my personality, and I can't let slip to another team. I am
excited to see where this is going.
You probably know. You probably all know. It's the Hudson Valley Cider Donuts.
It absolutely is.
It has to be. I can't let one of you have the Hudson Valley Cider Donuts away from me. That would just, I might cry tonight if that were to happen. So I get the cider donuts, obviously a fall staple of New England, the Northeast, many other places. Hudson Valley did a really nice job with their logo set. I made Ben buy me a hat during his visit to Hudson Valley last year.
Made me do it. Compulsory purchase.
Yeah, I was like, here's the exact hat I want. You need to purchase it for me. I will Venmo you ASAP. And he did, and I was very grateful for it. I wear it a lot. So Hudson Valley Cider Donuts. I don't have a B for this. So I guess that runs. We got the biscuits, the beach, and the donuts, but we'll figure it out.
You just got a whole carbs thing going here.
Yeah, this is not a healthy franchise, Sam.
It's healthy.
What franchise is healthy?
You got to go with Stockton.
Hey, the vegetable we're bringing in is the lettuce that we're acquiring by selling tickets. How about that?
You have to go to Stockton and get asparagus, man. Like you got to bring in some greens. There's going to be a whole lot of bloat, Sam.
Yeah, there's always Mr. Celery.
That's true.
There's always Mr. Celery. Don't. I got 2 picks left.
All right, up next is Kelsie, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
and I'm actually going to change my strategy a little bit because you all have picked stadiums. So therefore, I do not need to pick a stadium anytime soon. So therefore, I'm going to go with prospect, and I'm going to go with Harrisburg's Dylan Cruz, the number 2 overall pick in last year's draft. By our rankings, he's the best prospect at AA or below, and I would agree with that. I mean, he has the power, he has the speed, he can hit for average and power. Defense is decent. I think he was really exciting last year, and so I'm only more excited to see him this year at AA, and it shouldn't be long before he gets up to AAA. So I'm glad I'm able to take him here for top prospect.
Yeah, Dylan Cruz, last year's Golden Spikes winner. I mean, going to be very highly anticipated, especially when you watch like what Wyatt Langford is doing at the major league level. And Dylan Cruz is 2 stops away, which I don't think is indication of the gulf between those 2 talents. I think Dylan Cruz has a better chance of sticking in center field for Washington. They certainly played him a lot there. But yeah, that's a strong guy to build around. And you get an up the middle of the talent. So far, we've had a catcher and now a center fielder. Ben, you're up for 2.
How about for a prospect, I go with gentleman Max Clark. You know, he made an abbreviated appearance last summer. Top 23 pick Clark will introduce himself more fully this spring. He played 11 games in the Florida State League I'm just trying to read a Sam Dykstra.
Yeah, you're just reading my story. What do you...
It's not a bad idea. It's the most quality prospect analysis we could.
Yeah, I just want to say that. I believe that he's worked on his swing to free up his bat path, and that will allow his power to play even better in Single A upon his return.
Why was there a question mark in the middle of that sentence to free up his bat path?
Yeah, I don't understand prospect writing. It's like all this lingo and jargon. I had to stop. Like bat path.
Yeah, the path in
the
which
tongue twister.
Unlike Yard Goats and Rocket City, and it's more straightforward language.
Yeah, all that stuff is second nature to me.
I almost picked Max Clark. That was a split second to me, so that's a good one. Also, Ben, you should know that he is more famous than any other prospect, probably. He has a lot of social media followers, so I'm sure there's a path for you and him to get along besides his bat path.
Oh, nice. We can collab.
You can collab.
Exactly. You can.
The hundreds of thousands of followers that a Ben's Biz and Max Clark collab would get is...
Yeah, now why does he have hundreds of thousands? Does he have a famous squeeze or something like that?
It's all him. It has nothing to do with the...
it's not exactly Livy Dunn and Paul Skeens. It's not...
Oh, yeah,
he's not being rizzed up like Baby Gronk. Am I right, folks? Am I right? Remember 2023? Am I right?
Sure. As the youngest person here, no.
I just want to throw out, this is actually following the real draft. I mean, Dylan Cruz was number 2 overall last July, and Max Clark was number 3. So Wyatt Langford at number 4 is not available for this draft. But anyways, this is fun facts. All right, so Ben, you have your top prospect off the board, you have your ballpark off the board, and you have your alternate identity off the board. So you just have main identity and mascot left.
All right, I'm going to move over to mascot because this is the newest mascot in all of minor league baseball. I'm going to go with Julius of the Rome Emperors. You know, the Rome Emperors, they were previously the Braves, changed their name to the Emperors this past offseason. That is a reference, of course, to
Orange Julius, Georgia, the mall drink establishment.
Yeah, and there's that. Yeah, I mean, they're the Emperors. So he's Julius, like Julius Caesar, and also like Orange Julius, too, if we want to make that reference as well.
It's a double entendre.
Yeah, a double entendre, because an emperor penguin mascot playing in Rome, Georgia, is definitely paying homage to a, I think now defunct chain of.
Yeah, are there Orange Juliuses around anymore?
Orange Julius.
I go there 3 times a day.
That's what Josh subsists on.
Yeah, those are pretty good. But Julius, he's an emperor penguin, as we would expect the Rome Emperor's mascot to be. We have not really seen him in action yet, but I want to get on the Julius train right there at the first stop, and ride along with him as his mascot career develops, and see where it goes from there.
Evidently, Orange Julius is still around, by the way, according to orangejulius.com. Today,
I told you.
Anybody's looking at my my browser history of mascothalloffame.com and orangejulius.com today, they're going to be very confused. Anyway.
Yeah. Although I don't think Bolt is actually in the Mascot Hall of Fame, to go back to a
is he just listed as like he's a mascot? So the mascot
I think the Hall of
Fame
Fame just has
him.
a roster of mascots, but he's not inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Well, thus commences my quest to get Bolt into the Mascot Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I mean, you're not necessarily wrong. You're just a bit ahead of your time with that one.
Okay, I like that.
So yeah, that's another 2 great picks by me, and then we can move on to going back to Kelsie. Yeah.
All right. I will also stick in the mascot category. I will pick someone who slides into our DMs often, though he is apparently in a monogamous relationship. I will pick Sheldon of Daytona. And I don't know if I can pick them as a team or if there's another alternate identity situation, but he also has his partner Shelly. They're a great mascot duo. But either way, Sheldon of Daytona, the Reds single A team, the Florida State League. He's a lot of fun. I feel like he's always posting videos of him doing things. I think he's, maybe the next Slugger in many aspects of the shenanigans he puts on. So going with Sheldon.
Sheldon with 2 L's, right?
Correct. Yes, because it's a shell. Yeah.
Turtles. Turtles. I get it. I like turtles.
Are we sure he's not like the turtle or like the head of a turtle mafia of some sort?
Yeah, he's just set up offshore corporations, and that's why it's Sheldon with 2 L's.
No, he's the head of the Turtle Club.
And
I think
you went a different
enough.
direction, Tyler. I was doing the Sheldon, and you were doing
when I was doing Shell. I'm currently watching The Sopranos, so you can't really blame me.
You should probably focus on doing this podcast.
Not at the moment.
Why are you watching The Sopranos right
At the moment, I'm watching videos of Bolt on the internet.
I'm doing my taxes.
April 15th, nearly upon us. Okay, Sam.
All right, so I have top prospect and mascot left. I should probably lean into my strengths here and take top prospect. There's a couple left on the board that are really good, but I'm going to take one that really developed a lot of momentum over the last second half of last year and into the spring. And that's Jackson Jobe of the Detroit Tigers. Will be opening up this season with the Erie Seawolves. Touched 101.8 miles per hour in a Grapefruit League outing this spring. It was the fastest pitch recorded by StatCast in the spring. His slider is always, I shouldn't say always, but is typically right around the 3,000 RPM mark. He's added a cutter. His changeup's now really good. I did a pitching lab story with him during his time in the Arizona Fall League last year. It's real ace potential for Jackson Jobe. The big question is, what's it going to be like as he's adding innings? He was coming off a back injury at last year. That's why he came on in the second half. But if he can maintain this stuff over 4, 5, 6 innings, I mean, Detroit has an actual ace on its hands in a way that they kind of developed Justin Verlander. I mean, I'll throw that out there. I think Jackson Jobe has that type of ceiling. So I know I should probably be building around a bat. That's normally how you want to do things, but Jackson Jobe, number 3 overall pick in 2021, just too good for me to not select here. So I'm going to build my staff around him. Tyler, you're up next.
Okay. I'm going to go team identity, and I'm going to go with one of the oldest team identities in all of minor league baseball, and that is the Asheville Tourists of Bull Durham fame, of Babe Ruth was once rumored to have died there fame, and just, one of the all-around classic franchises in minor league baseball. If I had my choice, I would go back to their old logo of the bear with like the camera around his neck carrying a suitcase and what does he have over his shoulder? I guess a bat. Must be a bat. That would make sense. But, the Mr. Moon logo stuff I'm good with also, but I'm going with that identity. I love the Asheville identity. I love Asheville. Yeah, that's my choice. That's where I'm going. I'm going Asheville, Sam.
Yeah, you got a real North Carolina feel to you.
Yeah.
You got Ranger Stadium,
The cradle of minor league baseball. Yeah.
Yeah, Asheville. I think we've probably talked about this recently, but Asheville Tourists, their home in McCormick Field, it's entering now the centennial season of that ballpark. 1924 is when that ballpark opened, so it turns 100 this year. The Tourist name is actually older than McCormick Field itself, but in that inaugural 1924 season, the team was called the Skylanders. In typical, especially early 20th century minor league fashion, the team was named the Tourists, and it wasn't, and it was, and it wasn't. So when McCormick Field opened, it was the Skylanders, but of course the Tourist name came back eventually. The roots of that name are essentially because at the time that the Asheville Tourists got it, most of the teams had players who were from the area playing for them. So the Asheville team started to have players that weren't from Asheville. So the local scribes, the local wags, started calling the team themselves the Tourists. Like, these guys aren't even from this area. They're a bunch of tourists playing in Asheville. And that name persists. Here we are, 100-some years later.
Yeah.
And it's a good name. It's a unique name. I always like on the McCormick Field scoreboard when it says tourists, visitors,
That is pretty great. Gotta be honest, though, Skylanders is pretty cool, too. That's a pretty cool name. And it kind of surprises me that we haven't seen like a Skylanders throwback night.
I think they're doing some Skylanders throwback this year as part of like the 100th anniversary celebrations.
That is very cool.
And Tyler, I have to double check, but I think there might be some throwbacks to the old Tourist logo with the tourist bear and the Hawaiian shirt and looking like a real rube.
It's one of my favorite logos in all of sports history. I love it. Yeah, that bear should probably be named Rube and not Teddy, which I think he actually is, or at least that's what the mascot, Teddy Tourist.
And we should say, like, for people who are interested in the Asheville Tourists and what it's like to go there and work there, go back to our interview with Ryan McGee.
Yes.
Of ESPN.
Yeah.
Wrote a whole story about
a whole book
about working for the Asheville Tourists and what that experience was like and how it's basically framed his fandom ever since. That was
Welcome to the Circus of Baseball is the title of that book. Yeah. It is sitting in my pile of next up books, which is within viewing range of me right now. I'm very excited to finally dive into that. That was a really fun conversation we had with Ryan last year.
Yeah, great guy, fun read. You can learn all about McCormick Field through that and in so many ways. Go visit.
Yeah. There's nothing like firsthand experience.
Yeah. It's under Tyler's control now.
It is.
Well, no. The team name. It's just the team name.
Yeah. You got to apply for special status in order to gain access to our franchise's history, which now for some reason is played at Granger Stadium, but still.
All right, Josh, you got your final two picks.
I did. I got my final two picks. I was sort of frantically dashing about for trying to feel confident here, and I think I've ended up in a good place. I did want to. I really had my eye on those Rome Emperors. I think that's a cool thing. With apologies to all Rome Republic fans, but they're off the board. So for my main identity, the regular team identity, I'm gonna go with the Amarillo Sod Poodles, newer franchise, but a really fun one. And I haven't been there to Hodgetown, but it just seems like they do everything right at that ballpark and as a franchise. I think it's a really fun thing. Ben, I'm gonna ask you to help me out if you can off the top of your head with the name of the man who wrote the theme song for the Sod Poodles.
Carson Leverett.
Yes, I love that song.
Local bootmaker, and that is a great song. He's a legit songwriter. I got to interview him when I went to Amarillo in 2019. Sod Poodles are the Sod Poodles, and I don't want to get into it too much, but
for rights reasons, we don't.
Yeah, for rights music. But shout out to Carson Leverett. I got to get in touch with him because he's a good dude. I just want to say hello and see what other music he's written. But that's a great theme song.
That song alone is worth top pick overall. So I'm not going to kick Slugger off, go back in time and kick Slugger off my number one overall, but that theme song deserves, that's a franchise building worthy song. So that's my team identity pick. And the other one I have left is my alt identity. And I'm going to go with one that I'm pretty excited about that's happening this year, which is the Binghamton Rumble Ponies are paying tribute to Binghamton's favorite son, Serling. playing as the Creatures, which is a nod to the Twilight Zone, Rod Serling's creation, the creatures being, I think, a direct reference to the gremlin-like creature in Nightmare at 20,000 Feet, which is one of, if you've seen any episodes of the Twilight Zone, it's probably like, well, if you've seen 5 or 7 episodes of the Twilight Zone, it's probably one of the ones you've seen. On the plane, there's the creature on the wing, really creepy looking. Directed by Richard Donner, that episode, who you know as the director of The Goonies and Superman and Lethal Weapon. I believe that the script is or it's based on a short story, which is in. And so it's like that episode is like a bunch of great things coming together to create this. Just the word iconic is really overused today, but really iconic piece of American television at a time when television was really coming into its own in American culture.
And it stars a very, very young William Shatner.
That's yes. How could I leave out that? It's a great episode. It's a great confluence of all these wonderful elements, and I think baseball itself is a great confluence of all these elements of American history, and nowhere more so than minor league baseball, and with events like this. So that's my closing pick, but certainly not my least proud pick.
I like it. I also am kind of surprised, based on the push notification that I just got, that Sam did not just go screaming and running out of the booth, because evidently Jackson Chourio has hit his first career big league dinger. Sam.
Oh, I felt it in my heart, you know? I don't need a push notification on that. I just felt it in here.
The singularity that you share with Jackson Chourio. Yeah. Okay, last one for me. I have to go. I'm going top prospect. I'm going off the board, off of our little short list board, and I am picking a friend of the show, at least in that we've talked about him a lot. I don't think we've ever actually had him on the show. But you got to start building things up the middle. And Harry Ford, the Seattle Mariners catching prospect, a member of the AA Arkansas Travelers. I'm going with Harry Ford. Harry Ford leads the way for the Asheville Tourists playing at Granger Stadium with Bolt as the mascot. And what was my other one? I don't know. Something. Oh, and the Monarchas. Sorry, Eugene. Sorry. Yeah, Harry Ford. Harry Ford's the guy.
All right. Yeah, I like that strategy. We've had 2 catchers now selected, which is interesting. But yeah, international experience makes sense for you, Tyler. Harry Ford playing tons for Great Britain last year. Maybe he'll get a little bit more of a breather. I talked to him about that. Like, how do you get over jet lag? You seem to have a lot of experience with this. And he has an exact plan down. So I thought that was funny. All right. So my final pick, I have main identity, I have ballpark, I have alternate identity, I have top prospect. So the only thing left is mascot. I think I've gone kind of East Coast heavy here between Montgomery, Brooklyn, Hudson Valley, and Erie. So I'm going to go west for this one. And this is a mascot I like a lot. I see him pop up every once in a while, but this is also a team I just want represented as part of this, because I could have taken them in a couple different spots. I'm going to go with Hornsby of the Tulsa Drillers. Doesn't really fit a biscuit. Doesn't really fit, Brooklyn necessarily. He is a bull or a steer with horns.
A bull, yeah.
Bull, yeah. But he does fit the bees, I guess. If we're going for beaches, the biscuits, and now we have a bull mascot. So
Hornsby.
Hornsby, there
the bull mascot.
So Hornsby, welcome to the club.
Nice. That's a good one. I'm going to stick in the Texas League for my last pick for my ballpark, and I want to relax. I want to cool down. So I'm going to Frisco, to Writers Field, because they have a lazy river, and they're not the only team with pool, but that will never not be cool that they just have a lazy river that you can just float around and watch a game and catch a home run. That's one of the funnest things, is when we can cut a highlight of a guy who homers and has actually a splash down into the lazy river. So that's pretty cool. And even just the flip side of the stadium, it has kind of a beachy structural vibe to it that I always forget about, because most of our shots are of center field. But then when you see that back part, it is also a really cool structure, and I think it's pretty unique. And then just on a small personal level, this park used to be called Dr. Pepper Ballpark, and it's how I learned that Dr. Pepper does not have a period in its name.
Same. Did Darren Smith tell you that?
Darren Smith, yeah, because he's not a real doctor, so he doesn't get a period in his name. Your PhD comes with a period, I guess.
And I think it was something along the lines of like somebody legally told them like you can't have a period there. It's not, if he's not an actual doctor, you can't have Dr. period Pepper. It has to be something else. So they just took the pepper. So it's really Der Pepper.
I think we need to look into
not a
this, but I
doctor.
think it was just a visual thing where they said this logo looks better without a period after the DR. I don't think it's some like covering their bases legally. Like, oh no, now they're gonna think Dr. Pepper's a real doctor.
It's prescribed by an
I'll tell
actual
you,
physician.
RC Cola does have a PhD in philosophy.
I believe that. My dad's first job out of college was at RC Cola. So
Royal Crown Cola.
Yeah, well, despite what Ben wants to ruin it, Darren taught us this because of the Frisco ballpark, because its former name, and that was really cool. And that's also one of the fun things about minor league baseball is you learn the most random things, like what is a yard goat, what is a sod poodle, why is there no period in Dr. Pepper? So that's my pick.
I do like that. I do like that multiple employees who have gone through the MLB and MLB landscape have learned that about Dr. Pepper because of our once and future king, Darren Smith, who moved on from his time at MLB.com, but is still one of our most beloved ever.
All right, Ben, you got your final pick.
And I just have a team identity to center all this around.
It's kind of crazy that's your, I mean, I guess that makes sense in some ways because you know so much about all the main identities, but
yeah, now I'm just sort of working backwards. So what can I put everything under is like the total package. And so in that regard, I think I'm going to go kind of classic, similar to Tyler's pick of the Asheville Tourists. I'm just going to go a little bit north, I think. Oh man, I've been in that region so much. I always get confused when I'm in Chattanooga. It's like you're crossing state lines constantly when you're in that area. But Chattanooga Lookouts, that is one of the most enduring names in all of minor league baseball. As roots back to the 19th century. You know, it's a reference to the Lookout Mountain of Chattanooga, of course, but the iconic logo with the eyes. It's just fun to say. I mean, the two O's in both words, Chattanooga Lookouts, and just feels classic. It feels right. Feels like a good, reliable base upon which to now put in all my other pieces of this franchise beneath those steadfast gazing eyes looking out from the top of the mountain at the dominion below.
That's pretty good.
I've always pronounced it Lookouts.
Is that not
Did Darren teach you that too?
Lookouts? And the weird thing is he says
Chattanooga Lookouts.
Says Chattanooga. He substitutes the sound in where it came out of Lookouts. That's weird. We always have to educate Josh on these things. All right, Sam, should we go team by team through where we have found ourselves here?
Yeah, everybody, let's start with Josh, and then we'll move in draft order. Everybody run through your picks one final time for the listeners.
All right. I've got a mascot named Slugger the Sea Dog from the Portland Sea Dogs, AA affiliate of the Boston Red Sox. I have Ethan Salas with the Tin Caps. I have Modern Woodman Ballpark with the Quad City River Bandits. I have the Amarillo Sod Poodles, and my alternate identity is the Binghamton Creatures.
I'm really excited to see the Binghamton Creatures, like uniform, hat, jersey, all of that. I went onto the Binghamton site to see if they had announced it yet. I remember in the video where they announced the alternate identity, they had a logo, which was very cool looking, but I'm really excited to see visually how they bring that whole package together. And I'm undoubtedly going to be getting a hat, which segues me perfectly into saying that during this segment, I bought a Bolt hat from the Winston-Salem Dash. So Bolt is my mascot. He will be supporting a team with the main identity of the Asheville Tourists and the alternate identity of the Eugene Emeralds, which is the Monarchas. And our top prospect is Harry Ford of the Seattle Mariners, who will be leading the Tourists / Monarchas / Bolt-supported Tyler Mond franchise onto the beautiful surface at Granger Stadium, home of the Down East Wood Ducks in Kinston, North Carolina.
All right. And then for me, my club is the Montgomery Biscuits. We will be playing in beautiful Brooklyn at Maimonides Park, nearby Coney Island. Our alternate identity is the Hudson Valley Cider Donuts. Our top prospect will be Jackson Jobe of the Erie Seawolves, and Hornsby of the Tulsa Drillers will be supporting us throughout the whole thing, hopping onto the beach, hopping into the ballpark, going between the two. He's a bull by the beach. It's going to be a lot of fun. Kelsie, what is your roster?
All right, I got the Rock City Trash Pandas, whose alternate identity is San Antonio's Flying Chanclas. My top prospect is Dylan Cruz of Harrisburg. We got Sheldon of Daytona as our mascot, and we'll be playing at Frisco's Riders Park and hanging out in the Lazy River.
And finally, it's me, Ben Hill. My team is the Chattanooga Lookouts, setting up shop at Vancouver's Nat Bailey Stadium, playing on occasion with the alternate identity of Jersey Diners, with Max Clark, whose bat path is improving, of the Lakeland Flying Tigers, really solidifying that roster, not a lobster, a roster. And
his lobster's also improving.
His lobster is also
been marinating it for a long time.
Yeah, but no lobsters for my mascot. I've got Julius. He's not orange. He is a penguin, and he is the new mascot of the Rome Emperors. So pretty eclectic bunch, but I guess everyone is eclectic when it comes to an exercise like this.
I like these groups. This is a fun little exercise. All credit due to Sam Dykstra, by the way, for coming up with the parameters of this draft. Last week the AAA was fun. This is a fun little exercise to dive into all of these things we love in minor league baseball.
I mean, we could keep going through this, right? Is that there were 90 teams to choose from. There are some teams that are left off the board, like the Hartford Yard Goats did not go selected.
Right. Yeah, I was thinking about that. Like all the teams to not have been selected, that was kind of a surprising one.
Yeah, that's just one example. I'm sure there are many other teams yelling into their podcast device right now.
Yeah.
And maybe we revisit this. Maybe halfway through the season we do this again, because it's a lot of fun and every team has something that should be picked.
Halfway through the season, Sam's going to be 440 pounds with biscuits and cider donuts and a dog appearance. Hi, Addie Bear. Josh Jackson's now 4-5-month-old puppy.
She's almost 7 months, I think.
7 months. Holy cow. She seems to be snoozing peacefully in her crate, which, based on everything I know from Josh, that's all she does. She just snoozes. She's a perfect angel who has never done anything wrong, and I refuse to entertain the idea of anything otherwise. Oh, there she goes.
She's on the move. She's on the move.
Look at her being all cute with her little. I would like a team identity based around our various pets. I think all of those things would be great. Maybe that'll be an episode down the road as well.
Yeah, maybe we'll build our own team, making dream stadiums and dream mascots and dream top prospects.
I got to be honest. I have a one-eyed dog. If the Erie Seawolves need any sort of appearance, just please let us know, because the pirate patch would not affect her at all. She's been dealing with the whole one eye thing for like 10 years now almost.
Although if you put that patch on the wrong eye, unlike
that's true. That would be a real complication. Like, wait a minute. That's not what this is supposed to be at all. Well, this was a blast as always. Josh Jackson, Kelsie Heneghan, we will say goodbye to you for now. But soon we'll be doing more wacky stuff anyway. And congrats on your new franchises. Good luck getting all these front offices together and everything molded.
Thank you. I will always have memories of Ben reading Sam's scouting reports.
And we
should do more dramatic readings of that.
And I'll always have nightmares
I'd
of
love
Sam
to.
slowly unbuttoning his flannel shirt. That actually is a really good idea. If we could just hire various minor league celebrities to do dramatic readings of Sam's scouting reports on prospects.
And also Ben's description of new identities.
Yeah. Oh, I like this idea. Or if Ben had written a love letter to Shelly Pistachio, potentially.
Some things deserve to stay private, It's just like...
Look, I'm an open book. So yeah, but if It was a long time ago. And
some nuts should go uncracked. That's, you know.
Oh, boo! Boo! That was terrible. All right, we're gonna say goodbye to Kelsie and Josh. A similarly named and maybe similarly sounding Josh Jackson will be stopping by with Ghosts of a Miners in a little while. Oh no, he will not be this week. Never mind, that's a lie. By later on, I meant next week. Because that
the
is
last you'll see of that gentleman.
See you guys.
See ya.
Bye.
Fun fact, you can't get pregnant every day. You're only fertile for 6 days, ovulation day and the 5 days leading up to it. Natural Cycles is the only birth control app that can pinpoint your fertile window by analyzing your hormone-driven temperature trends. It's more than just a basic cycle tracking app. Natural Cycles is the only FDA-cleared and CE-marked birth control app and has helped millions prevent and plan for pregnancy naturally. Save 15% when you sign up today with code RADIO15. Learn more at naturalcycles.com.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Well, moving along on this week's episode of the show before the show, just a little peeling back the curtain behind the scenes kind of thing. Sam, as soon as we stopped recording that last segment, Sam said to me and Ben, quote, "I'm going to go get my sandwich because I'm afraid someone's going to eat it." What, is there a backstory to this sandwich? What's going on here?
I think what it was is, we have a cafeteria here in the office. It's called Home Plate. Good name for a baseball cafeteria. And it closes at 3. And Sam had placed his order online. So it's just on a little pickup area in the front of the cafeteria. And I think he was getting paranoid that now that the cafeteria was closing, that at some point someone might do a sweep and get rid of all the unclaimed items. So he ran off like the wind to go get his sandwich. Because, Sam, I mean, Tyler, you work hard, I work hard, but Sam, he's like on a whole nother level.
Yeah, that is certainly true.
He just doesn't have time to eat. And here he is with his unstolen sandwich. It's all good.
My recovered sandwich.
His recovered sandwich.
I'm just going to eat during your segment here.
What's on this sandwich? What kind of sandwich are we talking here?
Here, I'll tell you. It's a build your own sandwich with lettuce, a toasted bun, chipotle mayo on a hoagie roll. Oh, it's all toasted. Imported provolone. No domestic provolone for Sam Dykstra.
Sam does not deal with the domestic provolone.
No.
No
Sliced
way.
chicken breast and tomatoes.
Okay.
It's a weird order in which to read it. It's just chicken breast with cheese,
that was like the money payoff was very late. I was like, wait a minute, Sam got like just lettuce and chipotle mayo on a toasted hoagie? What is wrong with Sam?
I was just reading it in order it was listed. I should have taken a moment and tried to build that more coherently, but hey, what do I know? I don't even eat sandwiches. It's all like all mystery to me.
Ben just sees gluten on the thing.
Yeah.
He's like, nope.
All right, you guys. Well, coming up on Monday, a very exciting time if you are somebody who is a stargazer or a person who will be in the path of totality. Monday, April 8th is the total solar eclipse over large parts of the United States. Monday, ordinarily a full off day in minor league baseball. That does not mean that there are not minor league baseball activities as they pertain to this eclipse. Ben, give us the lowdown on what's going on in the eclipse landscape of minor league baseball.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in the path of totality, which, a good swath of the nation is, this total solar eclipse will, make its way through the United States, starting in Texas, kind of coming up in West Texas, and then working its way in a northeast direction across the United States up into New England, and then it'll go out into the waters of Maine eventually. But over a period in the afternoon, there'll be a nice portion of the country in the path of totality, and that, my friends, includes a variety of minor league ballparks. As Tyler mentioned, Monday, an off day in minor league baseball. I was hoping more teams would be granted scheduling exemptions to play on Monday and then maybe have Tuesday as an off day instead. That happened in one case, but there are not a bunch of games going on. And for me, that was disappointing because I'm old enough to remember 2017. And that was when the last total solar eclipse came by. 7 years between total solar eclipses taking place on American soil is a veritable blink of an eye. I think the next one's not for another 20 years. But in 2017, there were several teams that played. Almost every team in the path of totality played a game that day, and 3 of them had built-in eclipse delays. So it was just a much more dynamic event in the world of baseball when you could have start a game, with the start time predicated on when path of totality would be, have a built-in delay to watch it all get dark in a sold-out atmosphere and then resume the game. I mean, nothing gets better than that. But here I am living in the past. Why don't we look forward to another eclipse? Because it's still an eclipse, and you can still celebrate it at minor league ballparks, and a lot of teams are doing interesting things. Man, my screen locked. I had it all up on here, and I started yakking. But I'll go roughly in the order of, when darkness hits. And one of the first teams is the Arkansas Travelers in Little Rock. And so on Saturday and Sunday, they will be wearing eclipse-themed jerseys, and then they'll hold a ballpark event at their home of Dickey Stevens Park on Monday. And total darkness will hit them at 1:51 p.m. Another team that is wearing jerseys prior to the eclipse on the 8th, wearing jerseys on like the 6th and 7th, is the Lake County Captains. They just described them as blackout jerseys. And I don't believe images has even been released. And maybe if they were released, we couldn't see them. It would just be completely dark. But we've mentioned this before, I think. At this point, I feel like I've talked about everything at least once. But the Captains have put their ballpark up on Airbnb for the night of April 8th. So it's like, come to the ballpark for the eclipse and then spend the night. And it costs $5,000. That's a lot of money for one night anywhere, but you could get a lot of people into the ballpark, to spend the night with you. Dozens. And if you split it up among like a large group of people, it'd be affordable. And, they're offering a bedtime story from their mascot Skipper, and miniature golf under the stars, and, chance to explore all these areas of the ballpark, play games in the classic arcade suite. So I think they get creativity points for putting their entire ballpark on Airbnb as a place to stay on the night of the eclipse. Total darkness will hit them on Monday at 3:14. At 3:20 Eastern time, Rochester Red Wings are hosting Solar Palooza, and at 3:20 they will experience full darkness. And they are playing as the Rochester Moonrocks on April 5th, 6th, and 7th against their opponent, the Lehigh Valley Space Pigs. So they've got a space-themed series in advance of Solar Palooza on the 8th in Rochester. And then the only team playing a game that day is the Syracuse Mets hosting the Worcester Red Sox. They are opening their gates at noon. Total darkness hitting at 3:23, and then playing a game at 5:05 that afternoon. So you could really make a day of it at NBT Bank Stadium in Syracuse, getting there early, experiencing the eclipse, and then settling in at 5 o'clock for a full game. There's also a ballpark events taking place at in Buffalo at Salem Field. It's an official NASA-hosted event. The Erie Seawolves are hosting a block party with live music and a live NASA feed on the video board. And Frisco Rough Riders are also holding an event on Monday featuring live music and a team meet and greet because their home opener is the next day. So good way to meet the players, see an eclipse, and then get ready for opening day the next day. So
yeah, that's pretty cool. That's a good way to tie things in.
Yeah, so there's a good slate of things happening around the minor leagues. At least, 8 different events hosted by teams in the path of totality. And keep an eye out on Monday. I'm sure a lot of those teams will, release great videos and photos of, their event and full darkness hitting the ballpark with thousands of people on hand to witness it. It's a really cool event. I was initially going to travel to one of these ballparks, and I think the absence of a game, the absence of an eclipse delay, the fact that it was so great when I did experience that in Columbia in 2017, I just felt like I'll just live on my good memories and not experience anything new. Just sort of slow fade out for old Ben's biz.
Seems healthy. Ben, have you inquiring minds from 2017 want to know? Have you been listening to the what was it, a Metallica album, Path of Totality?
No, that was a Korn album.
Korn. I was gonna say Korn. I was like, there's no way it was Korn.
Yeah, when I was researching in 2017, learning about eclipses and Path of Totality, for a long time, Korn was the first result for Path of Totality. But now that we had an eclipse and now another one happening on Monday, I feel like Korn's Path of Totality album has probably fallen down in the SEO. But yeah, Korn.
Good forward thinking by them, because we're
Yeah,
yeah,
that is true. There's some staying power with that. Sam, what are you doing? You gonna be? It's well west of New York City, where the Path of Totality goes. You're just gonna be at home. It'll still be cool. It won't be a
maybe
full...
Sam and I will just be in the office on Monday, and
that'd be cool. You can
We'll
go out
see.
to you can go outdoors and put on the eclipse glasses and check it out.
We'll try our best from here at MLB HQ. I will be catching up on opening day weekend stuff. But yeah, I mean, it is too bad it had to fall on a Monday.
Yeah.
But here in New York, it is like 93, 94% coverage. So it's going to be still a pretty significant experience.
Yeah.
So
can't all be as lucky as
we'll
Cleveland, which I think is the biggest city that is in the Path of Totality.
The Cleveland Guardians have I believe is that their home opener on Monday, and they had to schedule the home opener to avoid Path of the darkness.
We're all trying to
avoiding the darkness in our own way.
Yeah.
If we could, we would all try to avoid the darkness. They are home on Monday against, if the schedule will load, they are home on Monday against the White Sox. That is their home opener. It's not until 5:10 Eastern time, and probably for that exact reason. Yeah.
I think that's just how I'm going to refer to day games now, though. It's like, why'd you have a day game? Well, we had to avoid
the darkness. Yeah, because they're ordinarily, you'd start a afternoon home opener game at 1 or at 3 or whatever. They will be in the Path of Totality for 3 minutes and 49 seconds, starting at 3:13:45. So they will, it's right in the middle of if you were going to start an early one or a late one. I'm very excited. I'm going to be in the Path of Totality. I'm going to Texas, where my wife is from, not to her hometown, but to another area in Central Texas where her parents have a place. We're going to hit the Path of Totality. Very excited. 2017, I went. I was like, how cool is this going to be? I went to Central Nebraska, where my uncle lives, and thought like, yeah, I'm sure it'll be interesting. It's like the coolest thing I've ever experienced.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot at the ballpark in Columbia in 2017, and was kind of surprised by what an impression it made on me. So if you're in the Path of Totality or near it, put on those glasses on Monday and enjoy I don't want to say once in a lifetime, but a rare in a lifetime experience.
Our good pal Josh Jackson will also be in the Path of Totality. He, like years ago, rented a cabin somewhere in Maine. Maine will be the last state that it goes through before, as Ben noted. It'll clear out over, what is that, Nova Scotia, right up there?
Nova Scotia is up that way.
Yeah, it might as well be.
And it'll head out to the...
No one cares.
Yeah, nobody cares.
This is the man who drafted Vancouver because he wanted to dip his toes in the Canadian soil.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's British Columbia, Sam. Nova Scotia is a whole different thing.
Yeah.
The Canadian West Coast bias on this show is just
Sam got me on that one. I just express different things at different times to fit whatever I'm saying at that time, with no regard for consistency and the hope that no one notices.
Also, I was wrong because it's New Brunswick. I'm sorry, Canada. I'm sorry. Nova Scotia is it's off to the... I mean, it will go over Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
But it hits New Brunswick first. Whoops. Sorry, Canada. Okay. Well, all of that stuff you can of course subscribe to the Ben's Biz Beat newsletter at MILB.com. Ben's got some more promo stuff coming up as well. We're into it, man. This week, everything kicks off. We're into it again.
Yeah. Next week, I think it'll be time to talk about my 2024 road trips. So get ready, get excited, and I hope to see you. I mean, you, Tyler, but you who are listening on the road this season, if it works out. I'm creating my own Path of Totality, so find me and get in the darkness.
We're leaving it there. Thanks, Ben.
Thanks, guys.
I just want to point out that when we ended the first segment, as we were saying goodbye, like we had not even said a full-fledged goodbye. Josh Jackson already gone, just off the screen, hung up immediately, wanted nothing more to do with us. But then he sent me a message on Slack and said, quote, "Wait, was I supposed to leave or were you just done recording?" Well, I left. So Josh didn't want anything else to do with us. And really, who can blame him? Right, Sam?
Well, I mean, he's got things to do. It's busy opening week. He's got he's got to get back to 1937.
He does.
He can't be spending too much time in this.
He's got to be doing his digging, his research for Ghost of the Miners episodes. He's got to be playing with Addie Bear, his little dog, who her name is Adeline. They call her Addie. I call her Addie Bear. I have no idea why. I haven't even met her. And Olive, their little kitten. He's got to be playing with those two. He's got a lot to do. I get it. A big important time.
But we're grateful to have Josh
always. Always.
No ghost this week because he's very busy doing other things, and we've got a loaded show as it is. But anytime we can get Josh live and in the flesh, and in the year that we are currently in.
Yeah, it's really pretty amazing stuff. Okay, well, let's move along. Let's talk about some on-field stuff as minor league baseball opens this week across all full season levels, with AAA, of course, already having gotten started last week, and now AA, high A, and A ball levels all into the scrum here in 2024. Sam, we talked last week about some of the most exciting talent on AAA rosters and big league rosters. There are a whole lot more dominoes falling, obviously, is where everybody else will kick off the season. Kind of the interesting thing about the start to this 2024 campaign is, of the top 100, it feels like everything in the upper echelon, the top 12, 15, 20 picks, really is pretty heavily weighted to AAA and the big leagues to get this season started. But that's not to say that the lower levels are devoid of top prospect talent. Who stands out to you?
Yeah, I like the way you put that, because we talked about that last week, right? Of like, there are a lot of guys at AAA who are top prospects, and that's because they've proven themselves along the way. But there are some really interesting guys who are just about to do that themselves. We'll start at the single A level. We talked about Max Clark earlier when Ben took him and talked about freeing up his bat path and what that means. To go into a little bit more detail on that, Max Clark, really good hitter, really fast, has a cannon of an arm. From the outfield, there's just some questions in terms of what his power is going to be. So the Tigers have worked with him on his swing, trying to get him to elevate the ball a little bit better, let him tap into his natural power better to get it to be at least average. They think it can be above that. So the longer the bat's in the zone, the more likely it is to make contact and quality contact. So he will start out this year at single A Lakeland. And also at the Florida State League is another 2023 pick, Walker Jenkins, who is opening up with Fort Myers. Jenkins did exceptionally well last year in the Florida State League, showed a really good advanced approach. Michael Kadire in the past has called him Captain America. If you see the way he's built, he looks like a superhero, and yet he's a really good center fielder in his own right, has better power than Max Clark. We have those guys at number 10 for Jenkins and number 13 overall for Clark. They're going to be getting their journey started for real this year in the Florida State League. So I'm excited to see how they handle that, because it's usually pitcher friendly. But both of those guys should hit the ground running, and they have multiple tools to make that work. Ethan Salas, we talked about him before, opening up at high A Fort Wayne. I think a lot of people who wrote about him this offseason or paid attention thought the big thing about him was like he touched AA last year at 17 years old. Is it possible he could go back to San Antonio to begin this season? And he's going to Fort Wayne. He only spent 9 games at Fort Wayne. He wasn't there very long last season. He just got called up because the Missions were in the midst of a postseason run. And then he got injured and his season was cut a little bit short. Not an issue this year, but get him back to the Midwest League. Let him get ample experience at high A. He can catch anywhere, but I'm really excited to see him paired with Dylan Lesko, one of the Padres' top pitching prospects. Those guys will be working in tandem as a battery. Dylan Lesko coming off Tommy John surgery, really special changeup. He just needs to find himself again, as he's adding innings and all that. The control was a little bit off last year, but the Padres think that's just rust. I think he could be a real breakout prospect. And getting to work with Ethan Salas at high A is a potential special pairing there. The rest, looking at some of our other guys in the top 20, Marcelo Meyer, number 15, is going to AA Portland. He'll be forming a big three there with Roman Anthony and Kyle Teal. Roman Anthony, a breakout prospect last year for the Red Sox, has a really good approach, has at least plus power. What I like about this group is they all play different positions, so they're not bumping up against each other. Meyer's a shortstop coming off shoulder injuries. He's supposed to be healthy going into this year. I think he gets back to himself at Portland. And then Kyle Teal was a catcher last season, the Red Sox first round pick, climbed very quickly, reached Portland at the end of the year. They paired the three of those guys together a bunch in the offseason, and they've described themselves as best friends already, because I think they realize they're the future of Fenway Park. And the quicker they get together, the quicker they can form a core and play off each other well, push each other really well. That's one thing the Red Sox told me this spring, is that they are uber competitive amongst the three of them. They may be friendly off the field, but once it's on the field, they're competing for who has the highest exit velocities, who has the best batting average, who's hit the most home runs, all that kind of stuff. So I think that could work really well as a group in Portland. I'm excited to see how they play off each other, and they will continually be in the lineup. Like I said, they're not going to be pushing each other out of the lineup as far as that goes. Samuel Basayo, catcher for the Baltimore Orioles, will be starting out in AA Bowie. A lot of hay was made last year out of Jackson Holiday, obviously ascending 4 levels. Basayo climbed 3 levels himself. We've had Adley Rutschman be a number 1 overall prospect at one point. We've had Gunnar Henderson be a number 1 overall prospect at one point. Jackson Holiday's been number 1 overall. Basayo isn't as advanced defensively. That's some of where the questions are, but you can't question the approach. You can't question the power. It all plays really well offensively. I'm not saying he's going to be number 1 overall prospect at some point, but if he performs at the upper levels like he did last year at single A, high A, and double A, he'll be a top 10. We'll be talking about him in an interesting way. And one last top 20 guy at a level below triple A is Carson Williams, double A Montgomery. I don't get to claim him as part of the Montgomery Biscuits, but one of the best defenders at the shortstop position in all of minor league baseball. As good as his glove is, his arm might be even better. And he's a constant 20-20 threat because he has speed, he has power. It all comes down to, can he make more contact? The Rays are comfortable that that's going to happen the more playing experience he gets. They think he didn't have a lot of playing experience. It wasn't a huge priority. Baseball wasn't for him in high school. He was off doing other things, as high school people want to do. There's nothing wrong with that. But the more experience he gets, the more he'll learn to make better contact. If he can get that strikeout rate down to 25% with his potential to hit 25, 30 homers and steal 30 plus bags with that defense, that's really, really valuable player at a time where, as good as Junior Caminero is, he had to move from shortstop to third base. Shortstop's a bit more of a question right now for the Rays, and they have a potential future everyday guy at that spot in Carson Williams. So he's starting out in the upper minors, maybe knocking on the door by the second half.
By the way, Sam and I compete on things like exit velocity and home runs and all that, but we have 0 for all of it.
Not publicly accessible. We are not sharing that on Baseball Savant.
that data is not going.
You cannot hack that and find it. Absolutely not.
Did I tell you I'm playing old man baseball?
I've heard this. Yes,
I am starting. Not this current week because I'll be out of town, but the following week I'm playing for a team called the Yetis, which I'm very excited about. Yeah, man, it's gonna be fun. I'm
all right. You need to send me video, and I'll write up your scouting report.
Yeah, please do. That would be terrific. Okay, awesome.
I need your home to first times. I need your exit velocity.
If you have a sundial that I can borrow for the home to first,
that's fine. I mean, nice. I'll put down 20 for now, but I'm waiting for confirmation.
We actually did we've had a couple of practices, quote unquote. And the other day we were doing a base running thing, and they were like, just you can go over and be one of the base runners. And I was like, I'm not gonna steal. Don't even try to get me in as the guy who you can practice throw downs to second base. I'll be 49 feet away by the time the catcher pops to make the throw. There's no point in this. But I'm excited, man. That's gonna be a blast.
Yeah, no, that's very exciting.
Wood bat league. If I get a hit in the first month, I'll feel like a god among men.
I'll have your wife stream games for me.
Yeah, that works. Yeah, you can have her take the scouting video, and it's for me, it's just all going to be about appearances. I already ordered the right pair of stirrups that I want to wear. I got some cool sunnies. I can't find my like actual glove. So I've been using like this old outfield glove that I used to use. I don't know where my like real normal glove is. I've moved houses since the last time that I used it. And that's kind of dumb. I don't know where I could have possibly put it. But anyway, it'll probably be a disaster that reminds me that I'm 38 and not athletic.
There's nothing humbling more than getting back on the diamond and realizing
that is
how hard all of this is to do.
And the funny thing is, like, when you attempt to take up sports later on in life, and I know we have some younger listeners, enjoy it right now. It's a blast when you're doing it all the time. You're in school or you're playing with friends, doing whatever. When you take time off and then you try to get back into things, the most concerning discrepancy is your brain telling you to like, oh, do this right now. And your body just being like, that don't work that way anymore. That's a great feeling. Let me tell you what a great feeling it is. So I'll let you know if and when I get my first hit.
We'll have weekly reports.
Yeah, we can do that. We can have Ben read your scouting write up on me dramatically.
Love it.
It'll be a blast.
There we go.
I like it. All right, we'll step aside for a timeout. When we return, we are going to hear from a wide landscape of major league and minor league writers, the folks that you know and love from MLB Pipeline and from MILB.com and elsewhere, as to what excites them for this 2024 season. That's after the break on this week's episode of The Show Before the Show.
Hi, I'm Ben Hill, minor league baseball senior writer and lord of all that I survey. I'm here to talk about a whole lot of nothing, specifically Nothing Night. Nothing Night is what its name implies, a night at the ballpark with as few distractions as possible, no video board displays, no sound amplification, no between-inning contests, in short, just baseball. Contrary to what one may assume, nothing can evolve into something new. The Lake Elsinore Storm, progenitors of this promotional concept, have expanded its parameters and renamed it Sensory-Friendly Night, and that's taking place on July 14th. Other variations of the Nothing Night approach will be undertaken by the Louisville Bats, Lynchburg Hillcats, Inland Empire 66ers, and Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. That is a whole lot of nothing.
Hi, this is Jim Callis. I can't wait to see who the breakout prospects of 2024 will be. Who will follow in the footsteps of Ellie De La Cruz and Jackson Chourio in recent years and see their prospect stocks shoot through the stratosphere? Could it be Roman Anthony, Jackson Jobe, Chase DeLauder, Noah Schultz, Matt Shaw, Dylan Lesko, Xavier Isaac, Aiden Miller, Drew Jones, Roderick Arias, Cole Emerson, Bryce Eldridge? Those are just some of the possibilities, and the coolest part is there will be some names we never saw coming.
Hey everybody, Kelsie Heneghan here. Last summer, the electric 2023 draft class got a taste of the minors. This year, I'm excited to watch these prospects stretch their legs and innings limits. Paul Skeens is already the most exciting pitcher in the minors, while Max Clark and Walker Jenkins are becoming fan favorites. I'm also looking forward to Rhett Lauder and Chase Dolander's much-anticipated pro debuts. And that's just a few minor league rookies to watch this year.
Hey all, I'm Brendan Sampson. I'm an editorial producer for MLB Pipeline and MILB.com, and I am extremely excited for minor league baseball to return to Rickwood Field. I've always been fascinated by the Negro Leagues, and any chance I get, I'm brushing up on, Satchel Paige's antics on the mound or the specs on Josh Gibson's legendary 40-ounce, 41-inch bat. So when I heard that baseball was being brought back to Rickwood Field, the home of hundreds of Negro League games, as you can imagine, I was stoked beyond belief. And the weekend, it's not going to just be minor league games. It's also major league games. We have the Montgomery Biscuits and the Birmingham Barons, and then the Cardinals and the Giants. And there's going to be appearances from former Negro Leaguers, and of course, former Birmingham Black Baron Willie Mays will be there. And for me, it's just shaping up to be a once-in-a-lifetime event.
This is Josh Jackson, host of Ghosts of the Minors, with a special opening day hello to all of you out there in Radioland. The thing I'm most excited about is to bring you a whole new year of Ghosts of the Minors, while a whole new season of the Minors unfolds for Ghosts of the Minors, hosts of the future. Here's to the year 3000.
Hey everybody, it's Tyler. It's
pretty cool to be at the start of another minor league baseball season, and to get to continue to do this podcast is such a blast. As some of you know, I haven't been on the writing side for MILB or MLB Pipeline for the last couple of seasons. Well, I guess last season, and then this season makes it a couple of seasons. So what I'm excited about in 2024 is I'm going to get a chance to sort of re-experience the minors as a fan. I've got plans to head to a few ballparks this year. Going to be checking out Albuquerque and Fort Wayne and Nashville potentially. Very excited about all that, and just excited to see it once more through the lens of all the things that made me fall in love with minor league baseball in the first place. There is nothing like it on the sports landscape in America or anywhere else, and it's an amazing way to see communities connect and people fall in love with a sport that I've loved for my entire life. So that's what I'm excited for in 2024.
This is Kenny Van Doren from MLB Pipeline and MILB.com, and here's my reason for why I'm excited for the 2024 MILB season. As the reigning kings of the Why Not theme night, the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp continue to outdo themselves. Steamboat Willie entered the public domain in 2024, and with it being the talk of January, what better mashup could a team do than with King Kong and Van Gogh's Starry Night for a jersey? The three have nothing to do with each other, but that's the fun of minor league baseball.
Hey everybody, it's Sam Dykstra. I know you guys listen to me a lot on the show, but I wanted to just join in the symphony of reasons to be excited for opening day and the 2024 season. Each of MLB Pipeline's top 7 overall prospects have ETAs of 2024, and 3 made opening day rosters in the majors, including your favorite and mine, number 2, Jackson Chourio. With Jackson Holliday also expected to be in Baltimore before long, we'll likely need a new person at the top spot this summer. Could it be catching phenom Ethan Salas, who we've talked about, 5-tool star Walker Jenkins, who has also come up on this episode, a breakout star heretofore unforeseen? Or will Holliday stick around, prospect him long enough to keep his throne? It could be a debate that rolls through the entire season, and it's one I can't wait to have.
Wrapping up this week's episode of the Show Before the Show podcast. Huge thanks to everybody for joining us, for tuning in. If you would like to send your AA, high A, or single A dream franchise, you can do so. Podcast at MILB.com. We've gotten some really good listener emails as of the last couple of weeks, and that'll do it. Happy opening day to everybody around. Do we have a player to guess this week?
Not this week. There's just so much going on in terms of opening day stuff, so we'll get back on that wagon next week. The other thing
we've done such a good job guessing. Like you gotta give us a little bit of a
right. We gotta
celebrate.
Ben's got to research a little bit harder.
Yeah, we'll get back on that, but because that's fun to do. But yeah, none this week. There's just too much.
By the way, just a fun fact that I happen to know off the top of my head because I know a lot of these things. Nova Scotia means New Scotland in Latin. I know a lot of these things about Nova Scotia because I'm very well versed with where Nova Scotia is, how it borders Maine, and all of these things. I don't want to alienate any listeners in Halifax or elsewhere.
You're putting in the work, Tyler. And
Exactly. I'm trying to connect with our Nova Scotian listeners.
Yeah, you've got Halifax, not falsehoods.
All right, that'll do it for this week's episode of the Show Before the Show. Tune in next week. Yeah, we'll be talking about Ben's upcoming road trips, and we'll dive a little bit more into, obviously, the start of the full-fledged minor league campaign as everybody kicks things off this weekend. For Sam Dykstra, Benjamin Hill, Josh Jackson, Kelsie Heneghan, all the rest, my name is Tyler Mon, and we will catch you next week.